Hi, good people. This is Deborah. I hope your day is going well today. But I thought I'd come on and put this video out. Um, I don't know, and maybe you do know, the earth is the heart. Now, I will use words not intended to offend people, but to describe my point of view and how I see things. Respect that we all have different paths. I appreciate my subscribers and newcomers always. Your engagement is crucial, and your thoughts shape the discussion here. Your active participation enriches my discussions with you. Take what resonates with you and what does not resonate with you, put it on the shelf or throw it away. Now, I have to always use my notes because I want to make sure I at least get my point across what I'm trying to say. I want to say this before I start reading my notes. The earth begins at the root chakra, but it also ends at the heart chakra. Now, what happens is when you get to the heart chakra, you're either going to be in the negative still or you're going to be in the positive still. The root chakra starts out with the negative, and then you go positive as you go up. Um, The negative in the heart chakra would be you pretend love. It's not you can't pretend it, but most people do because they don't know and understand it. Love is unconditional. And you know that you have unconditional love because you love the person that hates you. You can't fake it. Or you love the person that has done wrong to you, or you love people that have done wicked things to you. That's how you know that you have unconditional love, and it is here for those that are moving back to their higher self. Now, let me start with my notes. Now, the word earth and heart are not just linguistic entitles but profound symbols with rich connotation that bridge the gap between the material and spiritual realm. Their esoteric meaning are deeply intriguing to me, inviting us to explore their symbolism within the spiritual journey. Now, as an organ, the physical heart is primarily responsible for pumping blood and maintaining circulation, not emotions. For a biological standpoint, emotions are processed by the brain, specifically through areas such as the limbic system, which governs emotions, memory, and arousal. When you refer to the heart as the esoteric symbol, it is important to understand that it represents the cerebrum. That's cerebrum. That is the heart in you, not the one that pumps. Of course, it's called heart too, but it only deals with the blood situation. The brain as the center of awareness. The brain, especially the cerebrum, is considered the seat of understanding and higher awareness. The cerebrum is the most significant part of the brain and is responsible for the most important brain functions, such as thinking, perception, and voluntary movement. Esoterically, the crown chakra is associated with the cerebrum because it represents the highest awareness, thought, and spiritual. The word earth in its positive meaning. The earth symbolizes grounding and material manifestation in esoteric teaching. It represents the physical realm, the body, and the divine spirit incarnation into physical life. The symbolism is not just about the material world, but the potential for spiritual growth, transformation, and the manifestation of higher truth. It is a beacon of fertility and abundance, nurturing the force that supports life. This positive symbolism of the earth inspires hope and encourages spiritual growth. It also symbolizes stability and rootedness and grounding, associated with solid foundation, patience, and slow but steady progress that leads to spiritual enlightenment. The negative meaning, patience. On the flip side, the earth can symbolize overattachment to the material world, leading to focus on the physical at the expense of spiritual. This can breed materialism, greed, and the pursuit of worldly desires that distract from higher truth. In the content, earth becomes a limiting factor that traps the soul in illusion and ego, hindering spiritual growth. This negative symbolism of the earth is cautionary reminder to be mindful of potential spiritual hindrances. The earth can represent spiritual stagnation, a state of being stuck in the material realm. This state is characterized by an inability to ascend to higher levels of awareness, a lack of spiritual direction, and a disconnection from the divine. Let's look at the word heart and the positive meaning, called the seat of the soul and divine love. The heart is seen as the center of divine love, compassion, and wisdom. Universal compassion, pure, selfless, and aligned with divine will. In thought, the heart is the spiritual center of the human being, representing where the soul is connected with the Creator or the Most High or God. It is unconditional love, empathy, and spiritual awakening. The heart is seen as a place of healing and transformation for spiritual growth. The heart is essential for allowing the flow of divine energy and wisdom, representing the alchemical center where base emotions are tuned into higher spiritual quantities. The heart is the vessel where the human will align with the divine will, your higher self, enabling the individual to act in harmony with the cosmos. It is the space where truth and divine guidance are received. Let's look at the negative of the heart, emotional turmoil, unhealed pain. On the negative side, the heart can symbolize emotional wounds, unhealed pain, and suffering. An unbalanced or closed heart can be a source of fear, anger, resentment, hatred, leading to spiritual stagnation and disconnecting from divine love. It can block spiritual progress, trapping the individual in negative emotional patterns, emotional attachment, desires, selfishness, personal ego, false ego, holding grudges or seeking revenge, or attachment to personal identity. It becomes a seat of ego, desires focus on pride, control, and worldly ambition, which leads to self centeredness and spiritual isolation. Awareness of these potential pitfalls in your spiritual journey is important. Emotional attachment, desires, selfishness, personal ego. Now, false ego, holding grudges or seeking revenge, and attachment to personal identity. It becomes a seat of ego desires, focus on pride, control, and worldly ambitions, and leads to self centeredness, spiritual isolation. You will mistake it for God. You will say God made you a hermit. No, you put yourself in isolation. For God put you in the hermit state position to teach you, to help you know yourself. That's the only reason, only purpose, and to know your errors, and but when you are in hermit mode, in isolation mode, you're gonna think that you're better than other people, that God put you in that private place, and you feel that you're higher than other people. All that unnecessary stuff. That's what I'm seeing going on with some people that think that's, they don't want to talk to you. And my thing is this. This is my thing. If you are in a hermetic stage where you've been taught some things and someone tried to connect with you and you could feel their energy, uh, don't always take the person that's trying to connect with you as the enemy, because you might not be in your spiritual self. You might just be in your lower self. And when you're in your lower self, you're not going to be able to feel that person's energy. You can only feel the energy in the spirit, in your spiritual self. It amazes me how people can't make a discernment between the two. So when it was in your lower self, now just keep in mind, when you are in your lower self, you get isolated too. And when you are in your you're trying to gravitate to your higher self, you are put in a hermetic mode so you can know more about yourself and your spiritual life and all that good stuff. And then you become empathetic. And when you become empathetic, you feel everybody's pain. And so what happens with someone that's in hermetic stage, in Herman stage, they have to go back into their privacy and get the energy that they need before they come back around a person or persons, because those energies that some people have is the negative energy. Oh man, they are horrific. Now, I want to give you what my understanding is about, the meaning when it says that be light as a feather. I'm going to give you what my interpretation is about it. It represents achieving a state of purity, freedom, and inner peace to connect with divine wisdom or obtain spiritual enlightenment fully. Freedom from burdens and attachment. You know, Like if you were a worrier of your children, you don't worry about them no more. If you were a person that get involved with people's situations, you don't get involved with people's situations anymore. Because if you do, as an empath, you're gonna feel every bit of what that burden is. So because of that reason, you don't do it no more. The state of freedom from the heavy burdens of guilt, anger, resentment, fear, attachment to the material or emotional concern. The heart is the core of our being, the center of love, emotion, awareness. When the heart is burdened with negative emotions or attachment, it becomes heavy, weighing down the soul and blocking spiritual progress. A lighthearted indicates being free from these burdens and allowing the movement through life with grace. And you do. I'm learning to let go of some things, and I promise you, it feels so good. Uh, Let me reread this one sentence. So the light heart indicates being free from these burdens, allowing the movement through life with grace, compassion, and peace. Absence of worry about the future or regret about the past. I promise you, it's beautiful. Life and grace, compassion and peace. Absent of worries about the future and regret about the past. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It points to inner peace, where one is fully present in the moment and at the peace with life's flow, living in the now without the burdens of past mistakes or future fears, allows the heart to be in some tradition and calm and light in tune with the divine rhythm of life. In some traditions, the heart, light as a feather, is divinely tied to the concept of spiritual ascension or judgment. For example, in the ancient Egyptian mythology, particularly in the Book of the Dead, the deceased's heart is weighed against the feather of Maat, the goddess of truth and justice, in the afterlife. In the heart is lighter than the feather. The person is deemed victorious and worthy of ascending to the afterlife, while a heavy heart signifies the presence of sin, guilt. Sin is basically turned away from the truth. That's all sin is. Guilt and all unresolved issues. Unresolved issues could be, uh, ex-wife, ex-husband, family members, children, people on your job, people in your private life that you haven't settled peace with them. So you take that crap with you. Uh, this symbolism emphasizes that a pure heart, free of negativity and attachment, is beneficial and essential for spiritual liberation or enlightenment. It is powerful motivator for those on the spiritual path. Now, the person has purified their inner self, removing the ego impurities and lower desires. That means you allow the chakras to correct you, and you go up the chakras because you got to get to the heart, and you have to get to the unconditional because you never see the pineal gland. It'll never open up to you, and neither will the pituitary gland. In spite of what they say, the pineal gland is connected to your clitoris or your penis. The pituitary gland is the master gland, and that is the one that is the crown chakra. They don't talk about that, and they don't tell you that because they don't want you to know that. And then they'll constantly tell you, "Oh, it's not. It's no gender." Oh, yes, it is, but it's not for the reason you think it is. It's not for you to put people down or to dominate. It's not for you to brag on. That's it's not put that way for all that. The image of a light as a feather heart also symbolizes the ability to love unconditionally and the compassionately. When the heart is free from selfishness or emotional baggage, it can give and receive love without restrictions or judgment. And I'm talking about, I'm learning that more and more. All the people that have hurt me in the past, I ain't got nothing but love for them. And I promise you, I would never speak it if I didn't have it. Because I'm not, keep in mind, I'm a Virgo. I'm not going to speak anything that's not true for me. So the conclusion is this. Oh, I just kind of put this in here. The physical role. The atom is the building block of all matter. That would be you. In the physical world, it's structured, determines the properties of element and compounds. Atom is the protons, the neutrons, and the electrons. And keep in mind the electrons is outside of the proton and neutrons. That will be the proton is feminine and neutron is the substance of the mother. And the electron is masculine, which is earth. The atom is a fundamental unit of matter composed of protons, neutrons, and electrons. The protons they gave you, because they have the wires that they connect with the lights and stuff. The protons, they wired this stuff and they gave people the wrong colors. Proton is white. It's going to be white. It's always white. Neutron is black. That's that black blackness. Uh, that's the blackness. The electrons is red and dark blue. That's the wiring for a lamp or anything electric. The conclusion would be strive for emotional freedom, spiritual purity, and the ability to experience life with an open heart, free from unnecessary weight or attachment like hatred, envy, jealousy, strife, unhappiness, and unforgiveness. I literally have been working on my unforgiveness. It is about living in the state of grace. That's where I'm right here at it. Embracing love, right here at it. Loving myself and forgiving myself and allowing yourself to be at peace with the present moment. This is what I've gotten from uh, what was given to me. And I hope that you will understand that you have to. That's why they keep talking about love. Love, you can speak the word love all you want to, but if love doesn't have the power to it, it's nothing. It literally don't mean nothing. You got to understand it is power that causes the words to manifest. Just keep that in mind, and you will hear people speaking the word love, and there's no power with it. They're just talking. Anyway, until the next time, good people, take care.